Tell us a thing, Angel.
Hello, I am Chaos Pagan, and I am here to tell you about the Villisca Ax Murders. Um, I'm the one doing this because true crime is my area of expertise and whatnot. I binge watch that stuff a lot, so I know a lot about it. This was actually one of the first cases that I heard about and whatnot, and did a little research on. Um, So, and tomorrow we are actually going to be going to the house that the Villisca Ax murders took place in, which will be very cool. So, doing this to basically get you caught up and so you know exactly what happened. Um, so, the Villisca Ax murders was a case of 8 victims slaughtered in their house at night in the city of Villisca in Iowa. Um, there were 8 victims, the Moore family, and 2 little girls from the Stillinger family, who were best friends with the kids of the Moore kiddos. And the victims were Josiah and Sarah, the parents, and the kids Herman, Catherine, Boyd, and Paul. And the Stillinger sisters were Lena and Ina. I have no idea if I'm saying that right. I could possibly be butchering that and the last name. It's a very weird last name. Um, but those were the victims. So basically, what happened, this also took place June 9th, if I remember correctly, June 9th through 10th, because it was the middle of the night and whatnot. 1912. It was so close. I don't memorize stuff as well as my
So a
mom
little
does.
over 100 years, because we're
Yes.
off by like 4 days.
Thank you for mentioning that. I completely forgot about that, but yeah. Um, so, anyways, in the small town of Villisca, the Moore family the day before was going to the Children's Day service at the church that Sarah, the mother, took part in a lot. And the Stillinger sisters heard that they were going, so they asked their parents if they could, come with and whatnot. Um, so they went and they made it home about 9 or 10-ish. And then in that night, they were brutally slaughtered in their homes. So that was a lot of fun. And as you can tell by the name, they were all slaughtered with an axe. Not with the blade, the sharp point, but with the blunt end. So they were kind of just very brutally and very gory death, being, smashed into the face, 30 times or whatever. Um, and all of them were asleep except for one of these Stillinger girls, who I think it was Ina who was awake, because she had defensive bruises and whatnot on her arms and whatnot. So experts identified that there was a huge possibility that she was awake and kind of fighting for her life. The only one who saw the murder alive and whatnot. Unfortunately, she didn't make it. She died. Um, so there's that, and on June 10th in the morning, their neighbor went over because it was really quiet at their house and whatnot, because usually it was very loud. Josiah would be out taking care of the farm, the animals, the kids would be playing outside, and it was a small town, so everybody kind of knew everybody. Everybody was kind of friends with everybody, it seemed. So she got worried and whatnot, so she knocked around, tried to wake them up and everything, and they, nothing happened. So she called Josiah's brother, asking, hey, is the family out of town for some reason? Why aren't they here? So Josiah's brother comes over and he gets in. He goes to these, so he goes into the Stillinger girls' room and he discovers their dead bodies. They slept in the same room. were, I think, 3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom in the house. So they, if I remember correctly, they were downstairs. So he went to their room, discovered their dead bodies. He comes running out. He's like, "Hey, you gotta get the sheriff and whatnot." So they contact the sheriff, and I think it was also like the National Guard they got, because it was a relatively small town. I don't know, that's just what a few of the people I watched talk about this case say. But they came over here, they discovered the 6 other bodies of the Moore family and whatnot, you know, all brutally murdered the same way. And the axe was actually left in the house, you know, just lying there. Their faces were all covered with cloth, including the windows and the mirrors. For some reason, nobody knows.
Well, it's a tradition in a lot of religions.
Yeah. And then there were a few other weird things, like a random slab of uncut bacon wrapped in a cloth in the Stillinger girls' room. I don't know why that was, but that was there. And there was a meal uneaten, ready in the kitchen. So they think that, you know, the killer tried to, you know, cook something, and then I don't know, they came and whatever, so he had to hide. And one of the creepiest parts of it was all the doors and windows were locked. There was no sign of a break-in. None of the windows were broken. Everything was locked from the inside and whatnot. So there's a good chance that they had another guest coming with them who ended up, you know, murdering them, or that the killer was still in there when, you know, officials arrived and everything. There was one person who said that in, I think it was the closet of the Stillinger girls' room, there was like kind of a bed that somebody tried to make so that they could like stay in there and whatnot. And it looked like there had been somebody there. So there's that. And then obviously this case is unsolved. It's been unsolved for, you know, a little over 100 years now. But there are suspects, but nobody has been arrested or found as the murderer. Like if I remember correctly, there was I think it was a priest who, he was leaving Villisca on a train before the bodies were found, and he told somebody on the train, "Hey, there's 8 dead souls back in Villisca," before the bodies were, you know, found and whatnot. So that was kind of creepy. Although he was later diagnosed, I think, with paranoid schizophrenia. So I don't know. There were also, I can't remember his name, but there was a businessman that Josiah worked with. And Josiah ended up leaving him to start his own shop. And he was kind of selling the same stuff and whatnot, so, you know, officials maybe suspect that maybe he, you know, killed them because he got, you know, very upset at the business and whatnot, him leaving and then, you know, competing with him in the field. Or him being a very wealthy man, there was a chance that he hired somebody to kill him, like a famous serial killer whose name I can't fucking remember. One of these days I'm going to figure out how to plug all the fucking holes in this brain of mine, and I'm going to remember everything. One of these days, it's going to happen. I'm going to remember stuff. But there was this one serial killer that they suspected because he murdered his victims in the same way with an axe and whatnot. And if I remember correctly, there was an official who was on the case, and he came out and he was like, "I have solved the Villisca Ax murders and 20 other murders in this area." Very, very confident. I don't know if he was right, But that's what he said, and he, pointed the blame at that dude. So yeah, they had their suspects and whatnot, but nobody knows exactly what happened. And the house that it happened is now on the historic building registry. I don't know if that's the correct name of it or whatnot. But it's marked as, historic and whatnot, and you can now, go to it, you can stay overnight in it, which is what we're going to do tomorrow. And I'm very excited about that. So, there's the story of the Villisca Ax murders. I think I covered everything. There's a good chance I didn't, because holy fuck am I stupid, and I've got a cheese brain just like my mother. So if I remember anything, I'll put it in the description and whatnot, but I think I got everything. I covered the victims, I covered the suspects, I covered, how they were discussed. Yeah, I think I got everything. I think. Oh well, like I said, if I missed something, I'll put it in the description.
Also might be on the tour, as we run around the tour during the day.
That's true too. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy watching us, tour the house and whatnot, get a kick out of that. But yeah, so that's okay. Bye bye. Farewell.